Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the M40 M43. It's the Tier 8 American SPG. This one's located on the south spawn of Lakeville, and it's under the command of Oxagon. And he's also in platoon with Vicassus in an LTTB and Transy in a Shrek. Game on. Well, you can see his platoon mates are headed off towards the lake road. Light tank spotting on the lake road and a tank destroyer to help him out. It looks like Oxagon is going to cover the valley in this game. 3 marks on his barrel. It's an 8-inch howitzer. He's capable of doing 900 alpha, penetrating 52mm of armor. Standard reload time is 44.1 seconds. But Oxagon's got it down to 35.72, and he was having a quick look towards the town because there was an ELC 790 hiding behind a rock, and he thought he might be able to hit that guy. He's looking down the valley. Oh, T-32 rounds out straight away, and he gets a hit on the rear of the vehicle for 331, and he's getting some stun assist. Now, as you may know, the M40 M43, and this is the M43 with the 8-inch howitzer, they built the first one of these before the end of the Second World War. In fact, one of them was sent to Europe for testing, along with an M40 with the 155mm gun, and they were tested out in combat. He's almost loaded. Here we go. Rounds out. Well, he hit the Vipera and managed to get 217 hit points out of him, but he actually stunned the other tanks around him as well, and he's picking up stun assists from those. Okay, who's going to be next? Now, initially, they built 311 M40s with the 155mm, and only 8 M43s by August of 1945. But they did actually convert some of the M40s into M43s later on. Now, they also had what was called a T-30, which was an ammo carrier. That's the same vehicle, which is basically a Sherman or one of the M4s that's been modified. But they actually had one of those without the howitzer, and that would carry around all the ammunition the other vehicles would need. It also saved on maintenance, because if you've got the same vehicle, you don't need to carry around 2 sets of spares. And it meant that if there was a problem with one of the Artys, you could then... Oh, good shot on the T103. If there was a problem with one of the Artys and they needed to get that moving, they could strip the spares off the T30 instead. But generally, they didn't need to, because they had plenty of spares, because there was loads of Shermans over in Europe. They also had another vehicle called the T94, which was a modified version of the M40 M43, which actually had a 250mm mortar based on the same hull. And they did design another Arty. Oh, he was looking around at the back there to see if he could get any shots there. They did design another Arty with a 10-inch gun. Not an 8-inch, a 10-inch gun. That's a naval gun. One prototype was designed in February of 1945 and built, but it never went into production. He's looking for a target. He's found them. Oh, look at this. This is really nice, because those guys are defending against our guys trying to come up from the town. He's about to lay a shell on their rear, which is really going to frustrate them, because they're getting hit from behind. Oh! He just destroyed the SU-130PM and picked up 544 hit points. Now, that must have been a penetrating shot on that Arty, because a half roll or non-penetrating shot would have been 450, and he actually scored 544, so well over that, plus 25%. Okay, the Indian Panzer trying to defend against anybody coming down the valley. We're almost loaded. Rounds out on the Indian Panzer. Direct hit. Now, we didn't see how much damage it did, but we certainly saw that he's got a big stun now, and he's pulling back. That T-32 looks as if he's a one-shot as well. One round hits him, he's probably going to go out the game. Meanwhile, we're looking at the TNH-105-1000. He's trying to defend the cap. There's a lot of enemy tanks near the cap area. And we can still see the tracer from the enemy Arty, but none of it's going near Oxagon. Going to try again. Rounds out. Another direct hit. 354 hit points this time. Of course, it's hitting the side armor of that vehicle. That's not going to help that guy to defend. If he keeps getting hit like that, he's still stunned. Okay, we're almost loaded again. Our guy's definitely trying to get down the valley, but they can't get past the bottleneck at the moment, including his platoon mate in the LTTB. Rounds out. Now, that one I think landed short, but it must have been near the TNH, in which case it probably splashed him as well anyway. Okay, we can see his platoon mate there in the LTTB trying to get through that bottleneck, and we can't get through it at the moment because the enemy is defending in force. Surprisingly, the enemy's only lost only 5 vehicles so far. They've still got 10 tanks, and several of those are down in the south trying to stop our guys getting near the cap. Okay, we've got some targets to fire at. We're loaded. Oh, and there's the enemy Arty just firing. We just saw the tracer. But we're going to go for that Kampfpanzer 07 or 7. Or are we changing? No, we're going to the Star 2, but he's looking at the red line. And the red line's making it difficult for him to actually shoot. But he can hit this guy in the TNH who's changed position. And he still takes another round. This time 258 hit points, and it stuns the AMBT that was near him. So it looks like the enemy's been bottled up in their little corner of the map. Our guys are taking their time to actually get close to them because they don't want to get taken out. On hit point wise, we're way up on the enemy at the moment. 3,000 hit points up. So you can see it's not just that one tank that we've taken out. Oh, kill shot! Hits the rear of the TNH 105-1000. That was a really good shot. That he timed that one for the guy coming back, and he drove back into the spot. And that's the way you actually take out enemy tanks. If you know where an enemy tank's going to be going, you aim ahead, dial in on that spot, and wait for the enemy just to walk straight through it, and you fire the round just as you think he's about to go through, and it whacks him. We're almost loaded. The T-32's next. Say goodnight, Grace. Oh, he took that one, but he didn't die. But he's almost dead. Look at that. Only 85 hit points left. He's stunned. He's dazed. He doesn't know what to do. Well, he's just holding his position at the moment. Meanwhile, we see at this junction here, this bottleneck, the Vipera, with only minimal hit points, is holding back our teammates, including our friend in the LTTB, which is Vicassus. Going back to that T-32. He's waiting for sight of him. There he is. Lines him up, rounds out, and kill shot. So that is his third kill, Oxagon. Unfortunately, it looks like... Oh no, actually it was good news, because Tramsey in the Shrek just took out the enemy Vipera. I thought for a second it was bad news, but it was good news actually. And that means now that they've got no tanks actually holding back the bottleneck other than the Patriot, and I think there's an LTTB down there. In the meantime, down in up in the north, we've got the AMBT. He takes another big hit. AMBTs don't have much armor, They suffer consequently when they get hit, and he's just, well, had most of his hit points stripped away from him. And he's out the game. He made a dash across the gap and got spotted, and he's out. And now the enemy is down by 4 tanks. That Star 2 is hugging the rock, but Oxagon's trying to dial in on that position. I think he could splash kill that guy, actually. Instead, he's going to try and hit this Kampfpanzer 7. Rounds out. Yes, he got him. He just got hit by, I think it was Tramsey, actually. Hit him with the Trek just before Oxagon's shell went in and took him out. And there we've just seen another kill. That was the T-44-100 killing the enemy FV207 to end the game. Well, here's the end of battle results. That was a very good game for Oxagon because he not only got an ace tanker out of it, he also picked up other medals. He got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He picked up his 4th kill when he took out the Kampfpanzer 7, the RH, as well as getting a sharpshooter for getting 10 or more consecutive shots on the enemy, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12. A Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle. And he got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. His win rate, 8,902. So very good, super unicum standard. And I think it did help that he was firing from that high position, because it meant that there was a lot of enemy tanks right down at the other end of the valley, which he could hit from that position, and he wouldn't have been able to hit if he'd been in any of the other conventional positions down in the south, slightly to the right of the center line. So let's have a look at the team score and see where he was. Didn't get the highest damage in the game. That actually went to his platoon mate, Transy, I think it was. In the Shrek, he actually managed to get 5,029 hit points of damage out of that game. The second highest damage did go to Oxagon with 4,698. And the third highest damage in the game actually went to the enemy Vipera, the one who was holding them up for so long. He got 2,790 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, yep, it's shared between Transy and Oxagon. They both got 4 kills each. And third place goes to, or is shared between the GeForce 1008 and the T-44-100. They got 2 kills apiece. The T-28 got a steel wall out of that game. And I'm afraid, yes, Vicassus in the LTTB, he did get wiped out, but he did get a patrol duty, even though he got no damage on the enemy, because he was spotting the enemy and did get 4,185 hit points of spotting assist. So very valuable, but unfortunately, yes, he did die. When it came to base XP, it's, yes, Transy who did the best with 1,430. 1,184 went to Oxagon, and 915 went to Vicassus in his LTTB. So, yes, he did do very well on XP, not on anything else, unfortunately. Zeros in the other columns. Oxagon fired 15 rounds in the game. You only get 16 rounds of ammunition, so you have to make the best use of it. He fired all but 1 of his rounds of ammunition in the end. 13 direct hits on the enemy, 1 penetration. I'm pretty sure that penetrating shot was the SU-130 PM, because he basically nuked the guy. Yes, he did penetrate him. Look at that. Went straight through his armor. If you ever see a light or a tank destroyer like these in the field, they're easy targets, easy meat, because if you can hit them and get a direct hit on them, you'll more than likely penetrate them. And if you penetrate them, you'll probably get a high roll, which means that they'll either be out of the game altogether, or they'll be so severely damaged they'll be crippled for the rest of the game. He also got 25 splashes, so yes, he got more splashes than he actually got shots fired, so he was hitting more than 1 tank with some of the shots. 4,698 hit points of damage, all of it done at more than 300 meters. He damaged 11 of the enemy, killed 4 of them, and did 616 hit points of stun assist off 21 stuns. He earned 54,647 credits on a premium account, 27,324 for completing a mission, 81,971 altogether. And after repair and ammunition resupply and consumables, actually took away 13,041 credits profit. In fact, he didn't have any repair costs at all because he never got touched. 1,776 XP, 3,552 for completing a mission, and 5,328 experience points altogether. That was a very good game, actually, for Oxagon. He was helped by his teammates spotting for him as well. They were showing him where the enemy was. He wasn't having to guess where the enemy was, as happens so often in Arty battles, where nobody's bothering to look because they don't want to get shot at or hit. So they don't look, in which case the Arty has to guess where the enemy might be. And of course, sometimes they're just not there. Because his teammates were looking, he actually got to see where the enemy tank was and adjust his aim to get a direct hit, which would then take out the enemy. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.